Well, welcome back to Nikki's Nosh, and of course I'm Nikki, and behind me we're in the back end of Beyond. We're actually outside York on the Wigginton Road, and we're going to visit Willow Farm Café, and this is a hidden secret of York. I've been told about Willow Farm Café so many times, I've got to visit it. So, you know what we've got to do now? Come on. Wow. They have a little shop with loads of good stuff. Loads of good stuff. And it is very, very Christmassy. I've got to wait here to be seated. Well, I'm really hot. I'm in the Willow Farm Café and everybody seems so incredibly friendly. And so they put me here so that we've got behind me all the cakes they make themselves. I've opted for the most incredible thing here, and let me show you. They do all-day breakfasts, okay? And can you see there? They're all-day breakfasts. Yeah, they have loads of specials. Now, the thing is, I was tempted to go for the giant breakfast, which is 3 sausages, 3 rashers. No, it's just too much. I'll let you just see the screen again. Look, there you are. So, feeling hungry because I haven't had much to eat today, I've gone for the Willow Farm Beast, which is £11.50. That's a fair price. 2 sausages, butcher's sausages. Now, she's told me where she gets them from. She gets them from Knavesmire Butchers, which is a very good butchers in York. One of the top 5 butchers in York. 2 rashers of bacon, 2 fried eggs, free range, beans, mushrooms, black pudding, hash brown, grilled tomato, sliced new potatoes, fried bread or toast. Well, I've opted for the fried bread because I always say you should have fried bread once every 5 years. Well, I've already had it, but I don't care. I'm going to change the rule. It'll be once every 5 weeks. And fried bread really is corking. And that is £11.50. Now, it doesn't include tea, but I've ordered a pot of tea. Oh, and the pot of tea has arrived, so that's great. Thank you. Right, so got a pot of tea, Yorkshire tea, and I don't think there'll be anything more I will need, but we'll see, because they said, do you want to settle for it now or do you want to pay later? I said, I'll pay later just in case I get tempted by something else. Now, the great thing about this is you can have a breakfast at any time of the night or day. It's nearly 2 o'clock and you can get a breakfast all day. And it's arrived, my breakfast arrived already. Right. Oh, my goodness me, look at that. Thank you very much. Oh, I like the idea of those potatoes. Well, look at that. Now, I'll bring the camera in and we can have a good look. We've got 2 great-looking eggs. We've got some fantastic butcher's sausages from Knavesmire Butchers. We've got two rashers of bacon. Looks like there might even be 3 rashers of bacon. We've got two lots of fried bread. We've got some black pudding there, and we've got mushrooms, and look, we've got these sort of new potatoes, fried or sautéed new potatoes. I think I'm going to enjoy this, don't you? That looks really good. Let's go for the money shot. I'm getting hot. I'm going to have to take my scarf off. My oh my. Look at that. Look at that breakfast. Right then, let's go for the money shot. And let's see where we go with this. Salt and pepper. Look at that. Hey, look at those. Oh, we've got a lovely tomato as well. Let's go through, slice through that sausage and have a look at the sausage. Yeah, that looks good. Now remember, when I have a breakfast, the very first thing I go for is the mushrooms. So let's try this mushroom. That mushroom is completely and utterly marvellous. Beautiful. Try the egg. Well, I think we've got a good start to the breakfast. There we go. There's a little black pudding there. A little bit of black pudding. Yeah. Look at that. Look at that egg on there. Look how it's dripping. Beautiful. Mm. That is superb black pudding. Let's try one of these potatoes. It's interesting to have potatoes, isn't it? Those potatoes are lovely, lovely earthy flavour to them. Let's try the sausage. That sausage is good. It's got quite obviously a very high pork content. And it is from Naysmire Butchers. 85% pork and all that palaver. But this is good. It's a plain sausage. I don't think it's got much of a peppery taste, but really good. Right, well, I was just speaking to Chris, who's my server, and she's going. I get this lovely pot of tea, of Yorkshire tea, and in there will be a bag, at least one bag. I've poured the tea already, and it's lovely. I always think if you're going to enjoy and savour tea, you shouldn't have any milk in it, and you shouldn't have any sugar in it. Yorkshire tea is just something special. And they're going to bring me a pot of hot water as well, so I can eat this out and probably get about 4 cups out of this. A Yorkshire tea bag lasts at least 3 or 4 cups if you're clever. I used to do breakfasts with my B&B. Now look, we've got 3 rashers of bacon. Marvellous. Thank you ever so much. That's really great. Thank you. It's always a balance with this business, is getting the breakfast into shot as well as everything else. But this is a great looking breakfast. The mushrooms, hearted mushrooms, obviously cooked in butter. The bacon, I probably know where this bacon comes from, but look at the size, the thickness of that bacon. This is dry cured bacon. I know exactly where this has come from. Come from the same place as when I used to buy for my B&B. They supply most of the bacon into the proper butchers in York. This is second to none, this bacon. I was able to buy it because I ran a B&B, but obviously they don't sell to the public. But, I mean, hey. If you want to ever buy this sort of bacon, this dry cured back bacon, any of the big York butchers, the proper ones, who we're talking about Wilson's, Naysmire Butchers, Bromwich, M&K, you'll be able to get it from there. Now the dry curd is dry cured in York, so it's really good, but the standard is just as good. This bacon is good. The sausages are good. Wow. Getting a good sausage that tastes of sausage. I do think it's actually got some seasoning in it as well. Yeah. But it's a flavour simply. You can taste the pork. It's great. And then the fried bread. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to rearrange my plate a bit to put one of my eggs on the fried bread. Now, the other thing as well is they give you as many of these things as you like. There's a Harrison's brown sauce. There's a tomato. I don't particularly like tomato ketchup, but they give you one. What else do we got? Mayo, if you want mayo. Salad cream. You know, I've never had salad cream, ever. English mustard, malt vinegar, and salt and pepper. Everything is addressed. I'm going to try a little bit of this brown sauce. It's only in a sachet, but it says it's vegetarian and it's vegan. Give it a try. These potatoes are great. Lovely tangy potatoes. Tangy with the old brown sauce. Oh, Chris was just telling me that Willow Farm also run an afternoon tea. There's a party just round the corner that I've ordered the afternoon tea, and they might let me film it. For the local art club, I think. I cannot fault this. Bacon is lovely. It's well cooked. Look, it's properly cooked, being properly grilled, and not too salty. It's perfect, and bacon should be perfect. But this is a great addition to your breakfast. And these potatoes really add something to it. They're beautiful. So we tried the tomato, didn't we? Let's try it again. It's been baked, a baked tomato. And it's captured every single flavour of the tomato. It really, really is lovely. Don't know whether we can hold that up. See that? Yeah. It's gone inside now. Try the tea again. Well, you can see it's very busy here. And everybody is dedicated to service. Everybody's moving around. There's a whole station to my left here that's only just serving teas and coffees. Every table is busy, and every one of the serving staff talk to their customers. Because, as Chris said, many of our people who come out here live on their own, and we might be the only people that we'll speak to today. So they understand that. And that makes a massive difference. So if you live on your own, somewhere like Willow Farm Café really makes a very big difference. It makes you feel part of a family, which is the most important thing. There's quite a few people here who are of my age group, but equally, there's one or two families. You can hear a little girl who was happily singing and screaming at the same time on the other table. You know, it's popular because it does the trick. It works. Getting a breakfast at 2:00 in the afternoon, it's hard to get. And getting one that's been cooked so perfectly as this at £11.50. I haven't tried the beans yet. Now, beans is a sort of a funny thing because obviously beans, it can be very bland, but those beans have got a lot of flavour in them. Now, a little bit of a tip that I used to use with my B&B is I used to put a bit of Worcester sauce in it. Now, I don't have Worcester sauce, but what I have got is I've got brown sauce. So I'm going to mix a bit of brown sauce in with my beans. And you can see here, look. Yeah? Get some brown sauce. Mix it in with your beans. And it will zing it up no end. Perfect. Now, if you want to, you can also use tomato ketchup. I used to use Branston beans. They were my favourite. Branston beans. They're across in Blackwell. They didn't need much, but occasionally I would pep them up for guests who said, "Well, can you pep up my baked beans?" Which I did. Great sized sausage as well. Look at the size. I've just sliced a piece off, but look at the size of that sausage. Right? Gorgeous. Now there is some seasoning I'd added to it as well. I'm eating too fast again. All the eggs gone. There were 2 very good eggs. Bit more of the black pudding. Now this black pudding has got a lot of flavour in it. It's a better quality black pudding. It's got lots and lots of extra things put into that black pudding. I recommend that. It's almost as good as a Doreen's recipe one. Haven't tried the hash brown. There you go. Great chopped potato. A little bit of salt in there. There's a little bit of onion, but enjoyable. Totally, utterly enjoyable. And since I used to serve hash browns in my breakfasts, I haven't got a problem with the hash browns. And in fact, I haven't got a problem with these little potatoes either. I'm going through this breakfast really fast because I'm hungry. It's beautiful. Every part of this breakfast is properly cooked. The bacon is not overcooked. It's not undercooked as well. And I'm now going to have it with a little bit of fried bread. Oh, that goes together so well. Oh, that little piece of bacon. This is rindless back bacon. Just a tiny little bit of rind left on there, and it's been cooked to perfection. And when you put it in your mouth, the crackling, as we used to call it, just melts in your mouth. Now, finding Willow Farm is a little bit of a problem because it's on what's called the Wigginton Road, just outside York. It's not far out of York, but you have to find it. Now, if you're driving out of York, you drive out on the Wigginton Road, you have to watch out for it. It'll be on the right-hand side. And it says Willow Camping Site or something like that as well. So you have to be careful. But, of course, if you miss it, just turn round and go back in. But the car park is absolutely full. And so is the restaurant. It's a cafe. They call it a cafe, but it's a restaurant. It's busy and it's festive. I mean, all these people can't be wrong, can they? Well, I've enjoyed myself. This is a good breakfast. There's not anything that is wrong with this breakfast. 2 great sausages, 3 rashers of bacon, perfectly cooked bacon, ideally perfectly sauced, fried bread, great mushrooms, lovely little sauté, new potatoes, decent black pudding. Can you see that? Lots of flavour. And a lovely pot of Yorkshire tea. There's a lot on their menu as well, but obviously breakfast is one of their fortes, and they do it perfectly. I can understand why they specialise in breakfasts, don't you? I'm feeling full. If that bacon was in a sandwich, you could get addicted to it. And it's the thickness of the cut as well. That is a number 5 cut, I think, that one. The process of dry curing shrinks the size of the bacon. So if you have a rasher which isn't dry cured, it'll be, for the same weight, it will be much bigger before it's dry cured. And then it's put into dry curing, and then it sort of shrinks because of the way they make it. I'm not going to have enough room for any of their nice cakes. So we'll have to pop back out here another time to give them a go. Yes, everybody seems to be of my age, today at least. Of course, afternoons is paradise for us oldie wonks. Well, I can come here for a breakfast every day. Those potatoes have an earthiness, really beautiful flavours. You could have had those potatoes in any meal and they would have been delicious. Well, I regret to say, this breakfast has almost come to an end. There is a certain etiquette in certain countries where you are expected to never ever leave a clean plate. If you leave a small amount, it's a sign that you've had a sufficiency. Look here, I'm leaving 2 little pieces of potato, a little bit of fried bread and a few other beans. And that is politeness, because what you're doing is you're actually showing people that you've had enough to eat. A sufficiency is the word. Are you happy with what I've had? Because I certainly am. So what do I rate it? I think I'm just going to have a little cup more of tea. You might have seen that sometimes that food sort of rests here. I've got no feeling in my jaw. I had to have an operation on my jaw, and for the last almost 20 years, I've been numb here, and I can't feel anything resting here. I'm touching this and I can't feel it. So apologies if ever you see me with food hanging around here. I can't feel it at all. Vanity. I had a facelift, and of course all the effects of the facelift have now gone. They don't last more than about 15 years. The actual Yorkshire tea actually comes from the Yorkshire tea mines. Everywhere I've been, I felt welcome. I cannot fault the service of any establishment I've been to so far in York. I think it comes down to the fact that York folk are really quite friendly. I've lived here for 52 years and always felt welcome. And I'm sure when you come here, if you come here as a tourist, again, you'll feel welcome. Is this a place for tourists to come out to? Well, it's a place for lots of locals to come, because the thing is, all of these people are having fantastic conversations. They're fully animated as if they know that this is a place for them to come. The prices are reasonable. I mean, you can have an omelette with one filling for £8.95. These guys have got a 5 on, of course. I asked them before I sat down, because I will no longer eat in any restaurant or takeaway that doesn't have either a 4 or a 5, and I'll explain that in another video. My pot of Yorkshire tea is £2.50, and you can get an Americano or a cappuccino coffee for £2.95, or a regular filter coffee for £2.75. Any coffee that's under £3 is a deal in York. Oh, and there's an OAP special here, and I'm an OAP. Oh, a small main course with a choice of our selection of tray bakes, served with tea or coffee, £13.95. What is there not to like about the Willow Tree Cafe? Nothing. Everything's perfect. Now, I'm supposed to do this outside, but nobody's listening. I think the Willow Tree Cafe is a 10 out of 10. That breakfast is super. I've given other places 9.5. They're all pretty much as good as each other, but this one, I give it the extra half because the atmosphere is lovely. I feel at home here. I think I could, well, I'm sure they will boot me out at some point, but I could sit here talking to you probably all afternoon and I wouldn't have a problem. You might have a problem listening to me, but they wouldn't. They are welcoming. There's a really welcoming place. So that's the Willow Tree Cafe on the Wigginton Road, beyond the bypass. It's buzzing because you're not waiting for long for anything. Everything's cooked to order, but it's cooked properly. I've just been speaking to Chris, who's been my server, who's absolutely marvellous, right? Who's another 10 out of 10, I have to say. But she tells me this is dog-friendly as well, so you can bring your hounds in here. She'll even give the dog a stroke. I'm not being paid to sit here. I'm paying my own way. I pay for everything that I eat and everything that I drink. And I don't drink that much, but I could drink plenty of tea. Move in close. We've been at the Willow Farm Café. We've had the Willow Farm Beast. That was £11.50. A great breakfast. 2 sausages, butcher's sausages, high meat content. I know where they've come from. They've come from Knavesmire Butchers. 3 rashers of bacon, 2 fried eggs, beans, mushrooms, black pudding, hash browns, grilled tomatoes, sliced new potatoes, and fried bread. £11.50. A bargain. And it would be a bargain, but was it good to eat? Every single component of that breakfast was perfect. The service, impeccable service. Really friendly, really efficient. Food arrived perfectly. The tea arrived perfectly. Everything on time. They're not forcing you. They're not trying to leave you out to get rid. Tip-top service. Tip-top food. There's only one figure, and I've said it already. It's 10 out of 10 for the Willow Farm. I hope you've enjoyed coming with me to the Willow Farm Cafe on the Wigginton Road just outside York. So if you've liked the video as much as I've enjoyed eating the food, please give us the thumbs up to say that you like the video. Please subscribe if If you have subscribed, thank you very much. If you haven't, please do so. It will do wonders for my well-being. And of course, my target is to try and get to at the very least 500 subscribers by Christmas. And I'm really looking forward to doing Christmassy type things with you guys. I've even got my Christmas badge here. So, from me, Nikki, at Nikki's Nosh. Cheers, my dears. Please subscribe to Nikki's Nosh and like, comment,